research teams from across the country. Welcome, everyone. How is everyone doing tonight?
Well, I'll tell how everybody's doing tonight.
Hey there.
This is ridiculous. I go online. I'm trying to get you there? Hello?
Oh, Giant, you sound like a robot.
Yeah, well, my internet's not doing very good
Breaking up bad, Giant.
with all these winter birds down here. They're screwing our internet up bad. I just fell off. Jesus. Damn it. This is ridiculous.
.com. There are 3 participants in the conference. The recording has started. Please announce yourself.
Oh, God.
Sorry, everybody, but I've been having internet issues because of these dumb, stupid snowbirds down here. When they're down here, they hog up the stupid internet so bad it's not even funny. Next month is our last show. We're going to take a month off for Christmas and the holidays, and we'll start back up on the 16th of January.
Steven.
What?
You're like, can you understand that? I couldn't understand a word he was saying.
I did. Like, he said that we're going to.
Damn it, did it again. Okay.
Conference. The recording has started. Please announce yourself.
Hopefully he got it. Hey, Steve.
Can anybody hear me?
Welcome back.
Can anybody hear me?
Damn. Not clearly.
Okay, hold on.
You're very garbled. Can you? I mean, so far you're sounding better than the last 2 dial-ins. It's still.
Hold on. I'll fix your ass. This is ridiculous. Of all the time, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but every freaking winter this happens. We have winter birds that come down here, they hog up the internet, and then it's people like us, which are creators, they can't get on because stupid winter birds. Oh, I hate these idiots. 20 years and this crap has to happen. This is bullshit. Hold on, people. I'm having internet issues with this stupid Winterbird crap.
This service is provided in high definition by freeconferencecallhd.com. There are 3 participants in the conference. The recording has started. Please announce yourself.
Yes.
Is this any better?
It's like, that's yes. Yeah.
I had to get off of
Right.
Google because
I'm
for some
getting ready.
reason Google's not working properly. So I had to go on to Internet Explorer instead.
Oh, okay.
Internet, man, that's not safe, man. Microsoft don't support that anymore.
Well, I'm using
You're
it
talking about
now.
Microsoft Edge, the other.
Yeah, Microsoft Edge is what I'm using.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for the screw up and everything else, but when you have winter birds or snowbirds down here hogging up the internet, these idiots down here, they don't care.
Internet.
But it's like after 7 or 8 o'clock down here, they all calm down. They start going to bed. These old folks, you know how they are, crippled as hell and pushing their walkers around. Oh my God, I wish they'd just go back where they came from. Jesus.
Even quit talking about yourself like that.
Hey, I may be 66 years old. I ain't old and crippled. Good grief.
Wow.
I'm very much sound.
What age?
Hey,
Discriminate.
Even don't get any ideas of getting them like fake real snakes and tying a string to it and dragging it across their lawn and stuff while they're walking.
Yeah, no shit. Anyhow, Chris, you were going to tell us about the Bigfoot stuff you were telling me earlier before we started the show.
Oh yeah, okay. And so you think everybody can hear us now? We're all working.
Yeah, we're all working right now, and I could not get what do you call it, x.com to load right. I'm having issues with them, so we're just doing YouTube and our regular platform.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going through my phone looking at Bigfoot stuff and things, and I came across this database. It's called Geographic Database of Bigfoot Sasquatch Sightings and Reports this year. And this comprehensive database of credible, let me go back here, of credible sightings and related reports is maintained by an all-volunteer network of Bigfoot Sasquatch researchers, activists, and investigators in the United States and Canada, the BFRO. If you have any sightings in the United States, Canada, or any other countries, please take a moment to report it to our team of scientists. The report will be kept quiet and not published if you request it. If permitted by the witness, the sightings report and the following investigation notes are added to the main sightings database. It says accessible below. Reports added to this database during the current month and previous 3 months are also listed on the recent edition page, which I'll read to you. If you will be periodically checking this site for new reports from your own part of your country, you will be checking the recent edition page most often. So this is the United States reports of this year. Okay, and Stephen, you're in Arizona right now?
Yeah.
Stephen.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
not again.
I'm here. I can hear you guys perfectly.
No. Are you around? Oh boy, are you around, Bruce? Anthony, are you there?
Right here. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Muted.
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just wondering if everybody's listening and hearing what's coming on Steve's end.
Damn.
You know, as I'm talking.
Steve, are we still connected?
Yes.
Jesus.
Okay.
Steve?
Do this again.
That was aggressive. I mean, I don't know if a Yowie could be that much aggressive more than that. I mean, I guess you can if you're throwing rocks and stuff like happened to police officers, but you know, you piss anybody off. I don't care if it's somebody that's 5'6" or 7'6". You know, I mean, they're or whatever. I mean, anger's anger. It just depends on what level you want to get it to. You know, but you know, size-wise, I hear. Size-wise, Bruce, I hear that the Yowies only get to be around 7 feet at the max. I don't know if that's actually true, but when I did finish my book, and people that read my book from Australia contacted me and wanted to tell me about their stories about inland, about they knew the Yowies were out there, and they were not aggressive to them. The ones that contacted me. Now, I'm sure there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that probably have met the Yowie and had stuff aggressive to them, but the people that contacted me that read the book said that they would see them at night with their glowing eyes, and they were, you know, didn't cause any problem or harm, and one was a guy and one was a woman that called me about it, and oh wow, and yeah, and she would see them, they would come on a routine, you know, and she would only go so far, you know, out at night in a property, but when she did, they would be there looking at her. Both individuals, if I remember, never told me they felt threatened, but they never felt like they had to go farther out to get a closer look at night. They, you know, but they just wanted to tell me their story on that.
Oh,
Matter of fact,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. They're all over. I mean, you know, even the little ones in Asia. I tried when I was out there to go and see if I could find any of the maybe signs that we have here in the States with, you know, limbs broken or X's or Y. But let me tell you, that jungle there will eat you alive, and I don't know how our forefathers have died. You can't do it. I even posted.
What's the number of sightings for Texas and Missouri?
Okay, hold on. Let me get this.
You know the Momo?
Yeah, let me see.
Stop talking about my Momo.
Wait, did you say you want Momo?
Just little Momo.
Chris, he said he wanted a little Momo.
You want a little Momo? Okay, we'll get him a little Momo here. Where are you? Here we go. Texas had, oh, wow. Okay, Texas had confirmed with BFRO so far this year 260 reports, and the most recent report was November of this year. 260. And what was the other state?
Missouri.
Missouri. Okay. Okay. Missouri. Oh, okay. Missouri had 168 reports this year, and the most recent report was in August of 2025. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know,
What do you think of that, Anthony?
Say that again?
Thinking, what do you guys think when you hear these tallies from all these different states?
What? Oh.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, Anthony, go ahead. He's asking you that question. I want to hear what you think.
I remember like in the past year watching a documentary on the Yowie, and I kind of, and so, it's been so long, and, after a while you watch so much, you just process all this information. Unless I saw it like within the past month or two, I'll have to watch it again and then get back to you on the name of it. But one of the things that I do remember watching that documentary on the Yowie in Australia was that there was a lot of similarities on the creature, on how, like, especially those that go camping, people, hearing strange things, they're seeing the eye shine, and when somebody goes out to investigate, and they come to find out, whoa, there's something a whole lot taller than them, So yeah, it's there were, in the document, and I only saw one of them concerning the Australian Yowie, but there were some similarities on their curiosity and how they, like to spy on you, especially if you're in the campground. I haven't heard. I don't remember anything about I think there was like one incident. It was like being aggressive. But again, it could have been because of, I think it was with the food, they might have been hunting or fishing or whatever, and I think it was like they were after the food. It wasn't like they were being aggressive, just to, because they were there or something. But again, but the only thing I could, vaguely remember from watching that documentary on the Yowie in Australia is just that there were similarities with, people reported almost identical things. One of the things was definitely the rock throwing. So,
Well, what do you think, Chris? What comes to mind when you hear these tallies you're investigating yourself?
I think it's great. I know it's hard for people to talk about it. I in the beginning, when I saw it and what I thought about it, individuals would just look at me like, Chris, you're kidding, or it's Connecticut or Massachusetts, and they're not supposed to be here. They're out west, or then you start getting hesitant with the odd look, and you're telling the truth, and people are labeling you as that. So I can understand when you see these tallies. I'm expecting more. Okay, I'm expecting a higher number.
Right.
But when I was talking earlier about it, saying, look at these states, the 2 years, 3 years, and Anthony goes, man, no way in 5 years. Of course, Anthony's right. There's hundreds and thousands of, well, not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of sightings in 5 years up in Washington or Alaska. But people are keeping it to themselves. Yep. States, because they feel up there, whatever the region is, it's something that maybe everybody knows each other more and more, and in counties and stuff, and people talk or they shouldn't talk. So I would just, hope that it would continue to grow, and that's why we're on this show. And here's something that I'm glad Steve didn't give out the phone number tonight or the code, because probably with all the shits going on with the computer, it wouldn't have worked anyways.
Yeah.
But, you, Anthony, Steve, I, Mary Catherine, and other people, we enjoy talking about it and seeing these numbers. We love to talk to each other and other people about it, to get them out there to talk, because it's just everybody's had different interactions.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a break.
Did you know that the wrong mattress protector can ruin the feel of your mattress? Hi, I'm a mom, one of the hardest jobs out there. This is Junior. Junior's a sweetheart, but he can wreak havoc on our mattresses. Which is why I got the purple mattress protector. Nobody likes sleeping on a plastic bag. Other protectors turn your bed crinkly or stiff, and they make your mattress noisy, hot, and uncomfortable. Like a Nickelback concert, or the first year of my marriage. A mattress protector that ruins the feel of your mattress makes about as much sense as my husband's conspiracy theories. The purple protector is stretchy, so it lets your bed do what it was designed to do. The purple protector enhances your purple bed, or any bed. It's soft and flexible, so it doesn't take away from the supporting power of your mattress. It cradles your pressure points when you lay down, instead of making your mattress hard and uncomfortable, like watching Transformers 4 through the window of an RV. And the stretchiness means it's super durable, which is nice because Junior has vivid night terrors about deforestation. With other protectors, I always felt like I was choosing between comfort and protection. I shouldn't have to make that choice. I need to protect my mattresses. They're a big investment, especially on my husband's salary. With Purple, I don't have to choose. It's stretchy, which means it's comfy, and it protects my mattresses, which is a huge relief. And as any parent knows, the most important part of a mattress protector is protecting against stains and moisture. My little guy's pretty good when he's awake, but nighttime is a toss-up, and that's okay. Accidents happen. No more mystery stains on your nice mattress. The Purple Protector is waterproof and water absorbent, which will keep your mattress dry and clean. It protects the top and the sides of your mattress, so no matter what spills or leaks out of your family members, you'll know your mattress and your warranty are safe. It's stain resistant, so I can just throw the protector in the wash and it's good as new. I wish I could do that to my husband. It's hypoallergenic and non-toxic, and it's resistant to dust mites, which can be a problem in the forest. It's cool and breathable, which means no more waking up sweaty and damp like a Wookiee's armpit. I even have one on my bed. It's so comfy, I can forget it's even there. So when Junior gets scared and joins me in bed, I can rest easy knowing my mattress is protected. It even comes with its own 10-year warranty. What a sweetie. Being a mom can be so fulfilling, and the Purple Protector gives me one less thing to worry about. If you or your little monster sleep, click now to protect your mattress. Order your stretchy, soft, waterproof, stain-resistant Purple Protector today. You'd better believe it's real.
And we're back. I get a kick out of that commercial. Oh my God.
I love
I
it.
wish I could throw my husband into the washer. Huh?
It sounded like
All your
Junior
body
had
fluids
issues.
coming out. Oh my God, what a classic.
Hey,
Great.
it sounded like Junior had issues.
Yeah, well, you know, Chris has got one of those mattress things, and he says they're comfortable.
Very comfortable.
I want to make something else out clear, because we had that internet issue. I think next week we're going to start to show up from 7 to 8:30 this time.
Okay.
When is it going to be? 7 to 8:30?
7 to 8:30 next week, because next week will be the last radio show, because we're going to take a month off from the 19th, And then on the 16th of January, we'll start to show back up.
Okay. We did that last year.
Yeah.
It was in January.
Yeah.
We started at the end.
Well, we started basically in the middle of the month, but that'll work.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, looking.
Steve, I had one question. Steve, what did you think of the tallies that Chris was talking about?
You know, I'm sitting back and I'm listening about all the Bigfoot sightings all over the globe. I'm sitting here, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And it's like, since I've been out here in the desert where I'm at, I mean, at night I had to take some video recordings and stuff like that, what's going on. Because at night, you can hear coyotes going off, but at the same point in time, you can also hear some strange noises too that a coyote doesn't make. They're got to be out here right now as it is.
Oh, sure. I bet there are. You should record it, John. You should record it.
That's what I'm thinking about doing while we're on our break. Is I'm going to go out with my cell phone and see if I can do some recording of it, if I can find me something that I can do it with.
Hey, what about, since you've been on the Appalachian Trail, what about the other reports of other strange sightings out there?
Well, you know, when I was in Anthony's area, I did the Appalachian Trail, let's see, maybe 3 years ago. And I did the trail for a day. Okay, and I went climbed up this thing, man, this mountain up there that went into the Allegheny Trail and connected with that. And I came across, I want my vision was to go and find any hikers and ask them on their journey coming from Georgia or wherever they began and ending in Maine, or coming down from Maine and doing it the opposite way to finish the Appalachian Trail, if they had any weird or sightings or encounters or anything strange. And I came across, I think, four people that day, and they all said no. But when I told them why I was asking this question was because, you know, I showed them my book and I was researching about Bigfoot. Their faces and their complexion changed. Like, they were going, you know, why did this guy, I had run into this guy and he was talking about Bigfoot and people running into occurrences of, because that made them like worry that they were going to maybe have some encounters after they left me now, you know? And, but all four of them said they hadn't seen or ran into, but if I recall that when I was in Virginia, that made me do the Appalachian Trail deal was speaking to some people that were saying that they heard people saying about when they were on the Appalachian Trail there that they did have some crazy sounds and screams at them, which made me go up and do this interview and trying to find people on the Appalachian Trail, you know, and like it begins from Georgia, goes all the way to Maine, and I think it's a 7-month journey. And you know, I'm sure there's just been many occurrences that people just don't even talk about.
Right.
That they've just been scared out of their wits, and so on. You know, I mean, I saw coyotes on the Appalachian Trail when I was going up there, cutting across, and I mean, it is thick, just like. Be honest, a lot of parts is just as thick as Thailand and Cambodia and Vietnam. I mean, it was a lot of mountain laurel and you know, but you know, that's all I can tell you about the Appalachian Trail. That there are there, but the four individuals that I talked to, you know, they were just looking at me like, why are you giving me this information? Because now I got to still continue. You know?
Some of the people I've talked to that are on the Appalachian Trail, they say that they run into all kinds of weird creatures occasionally, and they catch them on video occasionally.
Yeah, I think I was watching one of Jeff Hadley's videos on YouTube where they were talking about a type of a wolf. Like I think they're called black wolves or dark wolves or something like that. They're supposed to be bigger than a regular wolf, and these things will tear.
Dire.
A what?
A dire wolf.
A dire wolf? I think that's what it is. And these things are huge, and they can become very vicious.
Wow. I did not know that.
Well, that's in Appalachians again, Chris.
Okay.
There was one time I was on the Appalachian Trail. All right. And
I hear doorbells.
well, answer the door. So
That's my phone doing
Someone
that.
is- Oh. Okay, so in Georgia, like I said, I'm just looking, it doesn't say specifically the Appalachian Trail, but they had reported was 146 sightings this year. October of this year was the last report. It doesn't specifically say on the Appalachian Trail here. Now going into Carolina, let's see here. North Carolina had 100. There you go, 109 reported sightings to the BFRO. The most recent report was in August of 2025. Let's go to then with South Carolina there, seeing that they're kissing cousins. South Carolina had 60 reported to the BFRO, and again, it was August of 2025. Moving north of that would be Virginia. Virginia had 89, but that's crazy. Just the last report was in December of 2024. Above Virginia, we have Pennsylvania.
Chris, hold on one second. I was just going to say that this past year we had storms, okay, and across the Appalachian Trail there was huge sections of the Appalachian Trail. Some parts of it are still closed because the roads were washed out. So that may account for the low sighting count for the past year. You know, because there were some spots that I was supposed to go hiking with somebody, and we couldn't go to the spot that he wanted to go to because it was closed off because part of the road was washed off. So, and at that time, there was no estimate of repair. I mean, when if you look it up online, look up, the Appalachian Trail in Virginia. Literally the road is there, and then it's just gone. One section is just like gone. So I don't know what's gonna. You could tell it was going to be a big repair job to get the road going. But I know some parts are opened. But I haven't followed up. I was not far from it a couple of months ago, and I had to hit the trail, so I know that there was still some detour signs on the southwest part. So, like the road up there. So, but that may account for it.
You're right. No, it's absolute. Listen, my son works for the United States government in the Postal Service, okay? And he works in Connecticut in Litchfield County. Litchfield County is a big county here, okay? That's like 6 counties or 8 counties in Connecticut. And they sent him to Carolina last year, and into Virginia, Carolina. He spent 2 weeks for all the postal routes, for all the places out in the mountains and the rural areas. He had to go out there and talk to the post offices and stuff, and he helped with whatever the government would send him, and get truck deliveries of things that they needed for water, to access, to get on roads or whatever, and get the mail there. He was down there, and what you're saying is all because of the rain in the fall. So yeah, that's a valid point, Anthony. Valid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that. You hit that right on the head. I don't know for the other states, but that one you did on that.
I've done some,
yeah.
There are
I've
also
done some
some
investigations. Go ahead.
Sorry, there's a delay here. But I was going to say that I know that there was, I don't know about the other states, but I know that there was, in Virginia, there was a few unsolved disappearances along the Appalachian Trail. You know, there was only one weird thing that happened and totally not related to what we were talking about. But I met up with that same friend I was talking about, like almost 3 years ago, when we went hiking on the trail, and this elderly couple came up to us in a beautiful mobile home. But, you know, and I was familiar with the name brand, but my friend said, man, that's like a real, that not only is that an expensive name brand, you know, but that's like a European expensive name brand. And I noticed that the license plates were not U.S. license plates. It was like, you know, a UK license plate. There were no, you know, the long, you know, narrow rectangular ones, not short rectangular ones like we. And I'm like, oh, it's been got, you know, like, you know, like European license plate, but you know, I'm guessing England. However, the strange part is that the couple only smiled. They never said a word.
Wow.
They never said a word. They just smiled. They just looked at us. They never said a word.
Was it like Canadian type license plates?
No, I lived in New York, so I know what the Canadian license plates look
Okay.
like. You know, a lot of Quebec and Ontario all the time, going up and down, you know, the interstate. But Canadian plates are the same size as like U.S. plates, you know. So, but
You know,
and it sucks.
I invested.
It will affect you down here.
So what's the correlation, though, with the people that you said came up missing?
The because Dave Politis, some in his Missing 411 books, had talked about, you know, like with some, you know, like when there's clusters of people missing, you know, he also, you know, in one of his videos, he talked about that, you know, there may be a Bigfoot connection to some of these areas, you know, because some, you know, because when he talks about how some children, like when they're found, you know, when they're able to talk, it's still, you know, whatever information you get out of them still doesn't make sense, especially, you know, like with the big hairy man or the bear, you know, took care of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that little boy that came up missing a while back?
I mean, there's a few in the book, so I you know, and plus on his videos, there's a whole, on like YouTube videos, there's a whole lot more, so you got to be more specific there, Snake Man, because, I mean, they're just so...
It wasn't too long ago that wasn't too long ago, Steve. You remember what I'm talking about, that little boy that came up missing, 6 or 7 year old?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He said... He said that the big hairy bear helped me by protecting me and keeping me warm, and he made sure I ate stuff, and then he brought me to the road right by the hospital.
How about that?
So
Yeah, they're not all...
that tells you
they're not
right
all
there.
They're not all kidnappers. There was one incident in one of his first 411 books where there was, and I think we talked about this before, but there was a man who had found, like, what he said was a family of the creatures, you know, and then he had went back and then he had told his neighbors because he wanted, you know, to bring somebody to see what he saw, and he was trying to get the neighbor to go, but the neighbor didn't want to go, but the neighbor's daughter was interested in going, and, you know, evidently he must have been, you know, a trustworthy neighbor, because they let her go. They let her go with him, and she went with him. And when he had shown her where the family was, all right, evidently they were discovered, and the creatures. One of the creatures came and took the girl. Okay, and you know, and he said there was, you know, he could not fight them off. He said they were big, huge, strong. So I mean, he went back to town, and tried to tell him, hey, they took your daughter. They told her they took your daughter. They're trying to get the authorities to say, hey, the girl, they was kidnapped and everything. He was trying to work them up to, like, hey, this is a rescue operation, and they treated it like it was a murder. And unfortunately, so the guy got arrested, he got charged, but, it took a while, but eventually they had to let him go. But that was that's what he was telling. He was telling, I'm telling you, they took, the Bigfoot creatures took the girl. And, the authorities didn't believe him. They just felt like that he's killed her and he was trying to cover it up.
Now that,
but,
Ever resurface?
no.
that Pilatus guy, is that, what's his first name again?
David Pilatus?
Yeah, David Pilatus. I was watching YouTube 2 nights ago. That's that guy that does the polygraph machine and stuff, right?
The what machine?
Isn't that the investigator that does the polygraph machine?
I mean, he was a retired detective. He may or may not have used polygraphs when he was in law enforcement.
Yeah, I watched one of his YouTube channels 2 nights ago, how he was interviewing some of these people about these Bigfoot incidences and stuff.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm remembering now what you said, that because in some of the, it was like in the book Tribal Bigfoot.
Right.
There's a lot of people that he interviewed in that book in Tribal Bigfoot, and in that book he had, like for those that took the polygraph and passed it, he puts it in there. He says, look, they took a polygraph and they passed. So I don't know if he gave the polygraph or, somebody else who's certified to do that stuff, but, he would say, yep, they took a polygraph and they passed, so they just kind of, in his point of view, it makes them more, makes them more credible.
Yeah.
The question is, why would Sasquatch take a young girl like that, a teenage girl? Was it for food? Is it for mating? What is it?
Yeah, no idea. I mean, Snake Man, unless one day we could be an eyewitness to all the things that they're doing, I mean, we really can't say. We could only speculate. They're probably trying to breed her. I mean, there are some, Native Americans that say that, yeah, so-and-so is a half-breed from one of the Bigfoots, you know what I mean? And that's why they got, big, long, hairy arms and all this other stuff, So, it's true. They evidently they're functioning like humans in the tribes, but those folks in the tribes say, yeah, they were, so-and-so was kidnapped and this was the offspring, of this lady that was kidnapped. Is it true? I don't know, but this is what's been passed down.
Well, I know for a fact that you do have what they call rogue Bigfoots, and then you have normal Bigfoots that actually want to communicate with men or people or stuff like that. But they're very picky about who they communicate with. And to me, it seems like they can actually look into your soul and they can tell you whether you're a good person, whether you're not going to say anything, or whether you're a bad person, and they know you're going to say something. And to me, I've never ever heard ever kidnapping a woman at all. Especially if that was the case, the same thing would happen with the she-squatchers out there as well.
Well, I hear what you're saying, Giant, but I personally, thank the Lord, don't know anybody or heard from anybody personally that that they've been taken and stuff like that. But the Pilatus, I think, is a credible person and well researched stuff. So and this is just Anthony's opinion. So, but I believe that it's in his book that that the women are taken. I believe to be true because I know he because of his background in law enforcement and I mean, look, even if it isn't David Pilatus, it could be, anybody that you find trustworthy. If you catch them out there in a lot,
Yeah.
you will always doubt everything. You know what I mean? And so far, I mean, Dave Pilata said, look, he only intended to write one 411 book, but because of the demand and because of the popularity, so he made a few movies. By the way, his fourth movie just came out, and his new book also just came out on December 1st.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it because when I was 6 years old, I saw my first Bigfoot. I was in, and I've told you guys this before, I was living up in Shasta County, California, up on an old ancient Indian hunting grounds where my mom and dad's house was first built. Matter of fact, my mom and dad's house was the only house out there that was built. And at night, when it was stormy and lightning, and my bedroom window was facing the road, the main road, but there was nobody driving down it at night. And this is anywhere between 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I saw, the lightning striking something or flashing in the air. And every time it did that, you'd see this round silhouette flashing through the curtains. And as a child, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, wait a minute, there's not a tree there. So I open up the curtains very like a crack to see through it with one of my eyes. And right there, you could see this Bigfoot's face, red glowing eyes, the teeth on the, you would think the teeth would be like an animal's teeth. They weren't. The teeth looked so human-like, it wasn't even funny. There was hair all over his head, except for the cheeks part, but the mouth, the upper lip, everything was all hairy except for the cheeks. And you could see the brow ridge. You could see hair all over its face. And when I saw this thing, I said, hell with it. I ran up underneath the bed, and I stayed there all night until my mom came out and asked me what I was doing underneath the bed. I told her, and the first thing that came out of her mouth was, oh, sweetheart, you were just having a bad nightmare. But here's the weird part. After I came home from school that afternoon, I went by my bedroom window, and I looked down right below the window, and by God, there was a huge footprint there. It was bigger than mine and bigger than my mom and dad's. And I thought to myself, I did not dream this. That's proof right there. And since that time, I've been having Bigfoot sightings mostly all my life. My last Bigfoot sighting was in 2016 up in Shasta County, California, a place called Big Bend, California, on the Pitt River. And it was during the day. And this thing was standing in the water all the way up to almost its hips. A tree that was sticking out like a stump sticking out of the water from where the tree was growing up. And his head was up underneath the trees and stuff like that with his arms folded across her chest. I guess he was trying to hide or something. And he knew I saw him, and I said, you know something? I'm going to come back here and get my camera, and I'm going to take a picture of you. He looked at me, and his head tilted like, what? These things all my life have never ever bothered me to hurt me at all. So I don't believe that all Bigfoots are bad and all that stuff. Now there might be a few rogue ones out there, but I don't think they're all bad. They're just like a human being. You have bad and good in every race.
Do you think they understand English?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Huh?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're very special. You know, I just want to. I don't want to go off too much on the subject, but I'm reading things here, and I come across, and they and I don't believe this. They have right now in 2026, June 18th through 21st. That's Thursday through Sunday. Colorado Bigfoot expedition, if you want to go to it, with BFRO. You go camping and go up in the mountains where they have reported sightings and stuff. And I'm just looking at here, and I'm going to try to see. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. South Carolina. Okay, South Carolina has one going on November 13th. Oh, it just passed through Thursday the 16th. It said BFRO organizers bring participants to areas where they will have encounters with Bigfoot at night. The odds of success depends on their selection of location, among other things. Selecting the best locations depends upon sightings, encounters, and information. The more, the better. So the BFRO selects organizers who have the most information in a given state.
Right.
Okay, so that already happened, but they did not report on here what they saw.
Right. Well,
BFRO,
I do have a YouTube channel, and on my YouTube channel, if you go look at some of the YouTube videos I made, it's called Northern California Bigfoot Radio. In one of the videos, I'm in a place up in Shasta County. It's called Stagecoach Road. It's just a gate that has everything shut, but you can walk down this little field where it goes next to a creek. And as I'm walking down, I'm looking at the ground, and I find this big, giant footprint. It's bigger than my size 14-inch boot that I'm wearing. I put my boot next to it, and this thing is huge. You can see the toe prints and everything else. The next footprint is way up where the blackberry bushes are at, and this thing steps on these thorns with the black. I mean, to me, if I stepped on one of those thorns, I'd more likely scream. But this thing actually stepped on one of the thorns without screaming. I'm like, wow, he must have some pretty good stepping. But if you take the video and you download it from YouTube and you put it in what you can dissect it to make pictures out of it, there's a Bigfoot standing behind an oak tree watching me as I'm doing this investigation.
Wow.
And I wasn't even expecting that.
Now the BFRO, is that a Matt Moneymaker organization?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
Matt
it is.
Moneymaker.
I was talking. I still got a couple of their phone numbers on here when I was up at the cabin, and I in the beginning in 2000 and I don't know 10, 11, I called a couple of them, and then I'm going, Jesus, that was pretty stupid. I better not call them because they'll come up here, and who knows what will happen. And if I'm up here on TV and so on, because I was a caretaker for this 805-acre estate up in the northwest corner of Connecticut. And I didn't want to bring any attention to it, but I did want to talk to people from the BFRO about it. And then I'm going, well, they might want to come up here, and they send these scouts up, and they invest where you are, like where I was staying at. And then they would call these scouts from the BFRO would then call Matt Moneymaker, say, hey, you know what? Come to Connecticut. And Matt Moneymaker came to Connecticut, and his one was called Bigfoot Loves a Barbecue. And he brought everybody up there, and they were, 10 miles from where I was. But I did not give out any. They called and called and called and called me, and I wouldn't answer the phone anymore, man. Because I know if I brought them up there, the whole town would tell everybody, and then I'd be fired.
Yeah.
I was there for 12 years.
Were you on here when I had Matt Moneymaker on the show?
Listen, you contacted me when I wrote my book in 2018.
Right.
And then I came on the show and talked to you about it. Now, if it was before 2018, then no.
I think it was after 2018. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
I think it was 2018 because I talked to him that day too.
It was me, it was you, it was Chris, it was Jan Allen, it was Anthony, and Chris, the other Christopher.
Right. Oh, I remember those guys, but I don't remember Matt Moneymaker. But I was, and I even was emailing back with that Barackman guy. Mm-hmm. And I was going like, man, am I going to blow my chance of staying here and all this and what I'm visualizing and seeing because I wanted them to come up here and investigate and bring the whole town around here and they go around talking to people else? I said, no. So then I shut it off completely because I know I'd be kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're in small towns, people know.
Oh,
They
yeah.
know when you fart.
Uh-huh.
They do.
You know, we were talking about that
That
earlier.
I did not want
Me
to
and
happen.
Snake Man. He was on, I think him and his wife and roommate were going, where were you going, shopping or something, or talking to somebody about doing a gig or something?
Yeah.
He was talking about rolling down his window, or excuse me, with all the chili he was eating, he'd be farting in the car and everything else. The cop would tell him to roll down the window. He'd roll down the window, and this big old cloud of fart would come out and hit the cop in the face. And the Snake Man said, okay, just roll up and get the hell out of here.
Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Anyways, you know, but so you had Matt Moneymaker on, and what'd you think of him?
He was all right. I mean, he was respectful and everything else. I got a lot of respect for him. I wanted to get him and
Good.
Bobo online, but Bobo didn't come on. It was basically Matt Moneymaker and a new sidekick of his, which is a friend of mine on Facebook. He doesn't come on all that much. I think I understand why, because of his private lifestyle, but I mean, I can understand that.
Okay. Well, let's go. Hey, listen, I owe everything to Matt Moneymaker and to Finding Bigfoot, because when I started my first encounters in 2008, it was 2009 was the first season of Finding Bigfoot. And what was happening to me up there, I was a runner then, and I would run around and jog and exercise, and I'd go to homes and I'd ask people, have they heard any crazy noises and heard screamings or somebody being murdered and all. I'd be going there, and if I saw somebody out in their yard, doing their yard around in the, in the farms and stuff, I'd go up and they'd say, yes, oh yeah, I hear somebody like they're murdering their wives in the woods with an axe. I hear all kinds of, and I was just trying to get me, some solid evidence that confirm what is happening to me up in the mountains.
Right.
Because, the first several years I was hearing them and noises and crazy things happening, but visually I couldn't see them. And they weren't showing their eye shine then.
Yep.
I didn't see the eye shine.
Yep.
So I was going crazy. So watching the show, but the only thing that gave me my insanity was that expedition they did in Michigan.
Right. That's like I told you guys. That's like I told you guys before when I was up at Lake Almanor, California. This is back during the 70s, and I was doing a survival thing by living off the land and everything else. And I was in my teens, and I was 18, 19, 20 years old, something like that. And as at Lake Almanor, camped outside on the ground on a tarp, covered up with a tarp and sleeping bag, everything else to keep warm. And early in the morning, I saw this guy, what I thought was a guy, down by the lake. And this is in the summer too, with a fur coat on. And I'm like, what the hell is this idiot doing at the lake with a fur coat? And, I sat there and I yelled at him. I called, you dummy, you're going to fry your ass off in that fur coat or something like that. And the thing turned around and looked at me. And when that happened, the first thing that went through my mind was, oh, shit, that's not a guy. What the hell? And it came walking up towards me, and it just looked at me, snorted, and walked right into the bushes. I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was freaky.
Yeah, it sure is freaky.
I can still remember that.
Wouldn't you have loved to see his face when that happened?
Oh, shit.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. No question about that.
You'd have to see my face when I was 6 years old. That was comical.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, my Lord.
I remember when, I found the deer carcass, and it was, all the fur was like taken off the
Mangled?
deer carcass and
Mangled?
laid out on the ground about 15, 20 feet away from the carcass,
Right.
and like a Persian rug. And then after taking videos and pictures of that, I went up in this direction where I heard the noises, and it was in April, nothing on the trees, and I see this figure run and about 75 yards towards me, and it's coming, and it was like on a diet. This thing was like 9 feet tall, but thin, like it was starving.
Right.
But it was running, and it had a mission to get somewhere. And as I see it going by me, and I'm 30 yards from it, it goes past me and goes there. It goes up to this tree, and just doesn't go past the tree.
Wow.
And I don't see how anything that fast should not go past that tree. So I said, okay. And I knew then, and this was in April of 2014, because I found the footprint that I made a casting the day before. And I go to that tree, and I brought candy bars with me.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to try to make some friends, because I was leaving things out anyways, just to see, because all the signs by then, being there for 6 years. And as I go to that tree, I'm wondering, okay, how am I going to react? So I said, do I take the left side or the right side to go around and meet him? And I went to the left side, and he wasn't there. And I'm going to myself, I was shocked. I just was like stunned. Like, where the freaking hell did he go? And I know there was a cliff on top of the ridge there that was probably, I don't know, maybe 35 feet or so from where that tree was, and he could have jumped down 200 feet down. But I don't know how he could just do that left angle, run one way, and then boom. But hey, they can do anything. So I didn't look up the tree. That was the only thing I didn't do.
Right.
Was look up the tree.
Well,
but okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's that time again. So go ahead and finish your
Really?
story.
Well, the story is that I went to that ridge where he was running down for 75 yards, and there were so many rocks and so many limbs and stuff that were laying down on the ground and bushes, and he was running so fast, I don't know how he didn't trip and fall and break his neck.
Right.
Right. Because it was like he was running on a track or asphalt. I mean, there's no way I could have ran, with sneakers on and even came close. I mean, it was just amazing how he didn't fall.
Yeah.
But when he came from that tree, that was when I started thinking about portals or interesting things like, the paranormal side.
Right. Well.
All right. Well, I know you got to go.
Yep. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, next week from 7 to 8:30, hopefully our internet will be a lot more better by that time too. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gentle Giant, and this is the Bigfoot Radio for this week. And we would like you all to tune in next week for some more Bigfoot Radio. And all of us on the Bigfoot Radio Network. We would also like to thank our guests for joining in on the discussion tonight on this talk show. And we would also like to thank you, our listeners, for sharing our adventure with us. Join us again next Friday evening for another exciting hour of Bigfoot Radio with the Bigfoot research teams from across the country. And we would also especially like to thank our listeners. Until then, this is the Gentle Giant saying good night, be good, be safe, and we will see you here again next week. Until then, keep Bigfoot live and keep Bigfooting. See you all again next week. Bye-bye, and have a nice night.
Just like a man. Well, good night, Sue Owen. May be unknown, but
But there's one thing I know.
Later, Tater.
Keeper of the mountain. And all he wants is just left alone.
This session is no longer being recorded.
Hey, Steve. I think I know where the recording thing came from.